not celebrate the Feast of First Fruits because the temple is not there. Are we together? And some feasts like Passover were again so linked to the temple worship that the 200 years after Christ, the Jews then said, you know what, we want to celebrate Passover, but we can't do it because there's no temple. So they changed its nature. So the way the Jews celebrate Passover right now is not the biblical way. And yet we are asking people to celebrate what the Bible does not talk about. Anyway, that's just for free. But some feasts were so completely changed in name and substance, not by God, but by the Jews. Like I told you, they moved away from the Feast of Trumpets to Rosh Hashanah, which is not even biblical. The word Rosh Hashanah does appear in the Bible only once. And it's not talking about a feast. They're just talking about the Rosh Hashanah means the head of the year, the beginning of the year. So there's a reference to the beginning of the year, but it has nothing to do with the first of Tishri. Are we together? So these are traditions. So we need to be careful about these. You know, before the exile, before they went into the Babylonian captivity, there are only 4 months which have names in the Bible. And these are Aviv. We see it in Exodus chapter 13 and verse 4. And then which is the first month according to the biblical calendar, not the Babylonian one. Then there is Ziv, which is the second month. Then there's Ethanim, which is the 7th month. But the Babylonians changed it into Tishri. So in red, there you see, I'm sorry you don't see my red, but in red, that's the Babylonian names. But the biblical names for the 8th month is Bull. Those were the only months that have names. And the students of the Bible believe that these names were not even biblical names, but they have names which they got from the pagans around them. That's why they don't have a full list of the names up to the 12th. So God's perspective was just the first month, the second. But anyway, that's for free. Let's leave it. Say to your neighbor, it's good to know. So let's move back to what we are talking about. Colossians 2 verses 16 to 17. Therefore, no one is to act as your judge in regard to food and drink, or in respect to feasts or new moons or Sabbath, things which are only a shadow of what is to come, but the substance that belongs to Christ. So what I want to emphasize here is the Bible is saying we should not judge each other around these things. Okay? So I'll leave this here for the now, and I'll build it as we